Hello, viewers. Good afternoon. I'm here again today to talk about a very important topic. And simply, I'm going to talk about marriage. Marriage is the dream of most people, most men and women of today. Marriage is a very important institution, uh, established by God for his children on earth. God expects us to be married and go into the world and multiply. So I deemed it very fit to particularly talk about marriage today. Unfortunately, marriage has become something that has been widely misinterpreted. The meaning of marriage has been totally widely misinterpreted. A lot of definition is being given to marriage, and so many changes are taking place. How people see marriage, what marriage means to them, and how they manage, marriages, as particularly today in our generation. And so I deem it very important to talk briefly on what marriage is all about. Marriage, as established by God, is, an emotional bond. It's an emotional bond, between a man and a woman. An emotional bond of love, emotional bond of affection, and all put together: love, affection, likeness, unity of emotion, and all the positivity that has to do with oneness. That is what marriage is all about. Marriage, like I hear some people saying, marriage is a contract. It's not. Marriage is not a contract. Marriage, as established by God, is not a contract. It's not a job contract. It's not a business contract. It's not a mutual contract. It's an emotional bond. It's an emotional connection. It's an emotional agreement between a man and a woman to live together and protect each other and love each other and care for each other all the rest days of their lives. That could not be described as a contract. A contract could be broken. A contract could be, you can have a job contract and your employer tomorrow tells you to go away. He doesn't need your services anymore. So marriage is not a contract. As established by God, it cannot be described as a contract. It's a bond. It's a covenant, which you need to have with, which a man will need to have with a woman, which a woman will need to have with a man. And it is not supposed to be broken. The contract is not expected by God. God does not expect that you go into a marriage and then whenever you want, you break it and you go away. God didn't establish marriage to be broken. But unfortunately, so many factors have been responsible today in marriages being broken, in marriages being destroyed, in marriages being disorganized and destabilized, and all these things comes with their consequences. They come with their implications when you go into marriage and before for one reason or the other, you break it, you break the marriage, then you have broken the marriage in expectation of the consequences that comes along with breaking it. Okay, so today I wish to emphasize that a lot of people have also misinterpreted a wedding ceremony, solemnization of a holy matrimony to mean marriage. You see, these things are two different issues entirely. The wedding is actually the ceremony, the jamboree, the fun fair, that forms the formality to tell the whole world, look, I am married to this man, I am married to this woman. That is what the wedding is all about. That is what the wedding ceremony is all about. That is not really the marriage. That is just the party, the jamboree, to tell people like, look, I'm married to this person. Be in attendance. People are invited to wedding ceremonies. That is not the real marriage. The wedding ceremony, the occasion, the formality, of the wedding event is not the marriage. The marriage is in the heart, is inside the heart of the man and the woman, is inside the emotions, is inside the fabric of the emotional building of the man and the woman. And they have this emotional building built inside their heart, and then they put each other inside their heart. That is where marriage lives. Marriage lives in the heart. Marriage lives inside your soul, inside your body, inside your heart, inside your emotions. That is where marriage lives. Marriage does not live outside. Okay? Marriage does not live in the ceremony. Marriage is not represented by the wedding ceremony. Marriage is represented by your attitude, by your behavior, your character towards your partner, towards your wife, towards your husband. That is what marriage is. That is where marriage is represented. You see, our people must understand that the wedding ceremony is not actually the marriage. The marriage, is in your heart. So I want to emphasize today that marriage is an institution established by God. It's a very sacred institution established by God. It is a spiritual agreement. It's a spiritual agreement. It's a spiritual covenant between a man and a woman. And it is not something that we can toy with. It's not something we can trifle with. It's not something we can go into today and then tomorrow we say we don't want anymore. We don't want it. We don't want to continue. It's not something like that. But unfortunately today, many people have made marriages to become very difficult. They have made marriages to become an institution where they have to bear pain, where they have to bear violence, where they have to bear maltreatment, where they have to bear a lot of negative things that are not supposed to be there. A man and a woman are supposed to see themselves as brothers and sisters, and they protect each other, and they love each other, and they provide for each other. A man should provide for his family, and a woman should support her husband to succeed, to support her husband to make life easier for the man. A woman should struggle with the man. The Bible describes the wife as a helpmate. As a helpmate, you were created as a woman to help your husband, to be a helpmate, to be a supporter of your husband in his struggle, in his endeavors, in whatever he's doing to succeed in life, in whatever he's doing to build the home, in whatever he's doing to have a fulfillment. Look, brothers and sisters, you see, when a marriage is broken, when somebody fails in his marriage, when somebody fails in his own home, inside his own home, there is no amount of success, there is no amount of achievements outside his own home that is going to be able to substitute, that is going to make up for the failure inside his own home. When you fail in your home, you have failed in everything. You may, if you fail in your home and you are a rich man and you have buildings and you have cars and you have this and you have that, my brother, you have not succeeded. In the sight of God, you have not succeeded. You have only succeeded in those temporary things, in those physical and material things. You may have succeeded in that. You may have succeeded in business. You may have succeeded in education. But you have failed in the sight of God. You have failed in the sight of humanity. Because when you break a home, you break a community. If you break a home, you have broken up a society. Because it is every segment of the home that builds up a society, that makes up a society, that makes up a community. So when you break a home, have it in mind that you have broken a community, you have broken a society, and the implications follows. It's unfortunate some people are victims of broken homes, not because they wanted it to be like that, but because they married the wrong partner. They married the partner with whom they are not compatible. I want to appeal, I want to use this opportunity to tell my brothers and sisters all over the world, look, marry who you love. Marry who you love. Don't marry for other reasons. Don't marry for material things, for money, for possession, for other gratifications. Marry who you love. Marry for love. When you marry for love, you can cope. You can bear things. You can forgive. You can tolerate. You will be able to demonstrate patience. But when you marry for money and marry for other selfish considerations, you will not be able to stay in that marriage when your expectations are not met. So I want to use the opportunity to say marriage is not the wedding. The wedding ceremony is not the marriage. Marriage is in your heart. Marriage lives inside your heart. And that is why many of us, by the grace of God, are married, and we are able to keep our marriage for so many years because it lives inside our hearts, and we are able to exhibit it whenever it is necessary. I pray that God will help us to marry, to make right choices, and be able to marry who we love, and be able to protect our home and build our homes, and make sure that our children enjoy our marriages, and we're able to give them good examples of what love is all about, what for better, for worse is all about. I also pray along as a connection with this prayer for every one of you, every man and woman who wish to be married, who wish to be a husband, who wish to be a wife, that God will help you succeed, that God will give you the spirit of patience and forgiveness and love and affection for your partner. I know that if we continue to ask God to do this for us, and we are honest and we are sincere in our relationships, God will help us succeed in our marriages.